Hello, language learners. Welcome to today's lesson on morphology. Morphology is the study of the structure of words and how they are formed. Today, we'll explore some key concepts in morphology: bases, affixes, prefixes, suffixes, infixes, inflectional suffixes, derivational suffixes, and suffixal homophones. Let's get started. First up, we have bases. A base is the core part of a word that carries the main meaning. Think of it as the foundation of a word. For example, in the word unhappiness, the base is happy. It's the part of the word that gives us the core meaning, feeling pleasure or contentment. When we add other elements to a base, we can modify or change its meaning. Bases are also known as root words when they're not combined with other elements. A base can stand alone as a word or serve as the central part to which prefixes, suffixes, and infixes are attached. Next, we have affixes. Affixes are elements added to a base word to modify its meaning. There are three main types of affixes: prefixes, suffixes, and infixes. Let's go through each one. Let's start with prefixes. A prefix is an affix that we add to the beginning of a base word to change its meaning. For example, if we take the base word possible and add the prefix im to it, we get impossible. The prefix im gives the word a new meaning, not possible. Another example is the prefix pre in the word preview. Here, pre means before, so preview means to see before. Prefixes are always at the beginning of words, and they usually modify the meaning of the base in a way that is easy to identify. Now let's talk about suffixes. Suffixes are affixes that are added to the end of a base word. They can change the word's meaning, its grammatical function, or both. For example, when we add the suffix ness to the base word lonely, we get loneliness. This transforms the adjective lonely into a noun. Another example is the suffix ed, as in walked. Adding ed changes the verb walk to its past tense form. Suffixes, unlike prefixes, always appear at the end of the word. Moving on to infixes. Infixes are a bit unusual in English, but they are affixes inserted within a base word. While they are not commonly used in English, they are more prevalent in other languages. However, a playful example in English is adding the infix freaking in the middle of the word unbelievable to make unfreaking believable, which is used informally to emphasize something. So while infixes aren't common in English, they can still be fun to play around with. Next, let's talk about inflectional suffixes. These suffixes are added to a base word to indicate grammatical information such as tense, number, possession, or comparison. They don't change the core meaning or the word class of the base word. For example, the inflectional suffix s is used to form plurals, as in cats, and the suffix ed is used for the past tense, as in jumped. Notice that adding these suffixes doesn't change the meaning of cat or jump. They just modify them to show different grammatical forms. Now let's look at derivational suffixes. These suffixes create a new word with a new meaning and often change the grammatical category of the word. For instance, adding meant to the verb excite creates the noun excitement. Another example is adding ly to the adjective quick, forming the adverb quickly. As you can see, derivational suffixes not only modify the word but can change its role in a sentence, unlike inflectional suffixes. Finally, let's talk about suffixal homophones. These are suffixes that sound the same but have different meanings and uses. A good example is When we add to the verb teach, we get teacher, which means a person who teaches. Here, is a derivational suffix that turns a verb into a noun. However, can also be an inflectional suffix indicating the comparative form of adjectives, as in bigger. In this case, it compares the size of two objects. Even though the suffixes sound the same, their function and meaning change based on how they're used. And there you have it. Today we've covered the essentials of morphology: bases, affixes, prefixes, suffixes, infixes, inflectional suffixes, derivational suffixes, and suffixal homophones. Understanding these concepts will help you better understand how words are formed and used in English. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more language learning tips. Thanks for watching and happy learning!